So in this video, I would just like to talk about how much to meditate each day and how much I meditate each day and what difference it makes. So of course this will vary from individual to individual, and what also needs to be said is that when you get to a certain place, meditation is sort of a quality that you carry with you throughout the whole day. So meditation can definitely happen throughout the whole day, but in this video I will talk about the praxis or taking time to sit down and close your eyes, or however you do your meditation, and just keeping up a practice. An amount of time that one wants to dedicate to this or dedicate to meditation really depends on where one is at and where one wants to go. Like for normal, just keeping a healthy mind, having some sort of peace inside, having quiet thoughts, still emotions. It doesn't take much to keep that up. I would say half an hour each day could be enough to be at a place where the internal is fine and there's a serenity and there's a calmness. But that being said, to get to a place where 30 minutes or 15 minutes is enough each day, there might be a requirement to have a phase where one really invests in one's internal well-being and really invests in one practice, meditation practice. I had a period for many years, or some years, I'm not that old that I can say many years, but some years where that was my focus. So I invested at least 4 to 8 hours in meditation each day, and those years gave me a really good foundation that I'm still keeping to this day. And right now, only 30 minutes, 15 minutes is enough to get back to that place. So because a certain foundation has been built, it's easier to maintain it. So I guess that's something I would recommend, simply because it worked for me, is invest a certain amount of time. It could be 2 weeks or a month, or being focused on it for a few years, to really build a solid foundation. Perhaps go on a retreat or something and really work on establishing that quietness, that peace, that inner serenity. And then it will be easier to keep that up instead of trying to establish it throughout a hectic in a busy schedule. Trying to establish that might turn out to be difficult. It's easier to maintain it than to build it up. So that's one thing, to invest a certain amount of time up front to really establish oneself where one wants to be, and then invest smaller amount of time in order to keep it up. But if one really wants to pursue the inner dimensions, that's a different kind of story, and then one invests the amount of time one has and one is willing to invest. And I definitely feel the difference between days where I do 15 or 30 minutes of maintenance, or I set the whole day aside and do 8 hours. There's a big difference. So that can't be overlooked either. But not everyone wants to invest 8 hours. Not everyone wants to be in such a state where not everyone wants to invest that amount of time to get to, really experience the inside dimension. And that's completely fine. So if one simply wants inner peace, that shouldn't take too much time. Some sort of bliss shouldn't take too much amount of time. 30 minutes each day, or first working on establishing a foundation, setting aside time to do that, then keeping up a practice which will allow you to maintain that. That may be 30 minutes, 15 minutes, or an hour, whatever works for you. But that's the way I have approached it, and works for me. So 30 minutes a day, I would say, is enough to maintain. But setting aside a good chunk amount of time to really establish something and build a foundation might be very helpful. Thank you.